Good morning, everyone. We're going to count the Omer one more time because now I'm on the recording, so I want to make sure that whoever is joining us online will count Sfiras Omer as well. Hayayim Tisha Yamim, we're on page 137 in the Siddur. Last night we counted 9. Hayayim Tisha Yamim, Shem Shavua Echad, Shnei Yamim LaOmer. Today is 9 days, which is 1 week and 2 days of the Omer. Now we're going to start a new chapter in Tanya, page 80 in the Chayenu. If you're joining us, you're following along. Chapter 42. In today's lesson, the Moshe Rabbeinu of the generation, the leader of the generation, and the Moshe Rabbeinu within each and every one of us helps us attain a true and meaningful connection with Hashem. What does that mean? Have Moshe inside me? I didn't know that. Okay, let's see what the Alter Rebbe says about this subject. Page 81. We already spoke about the lower level of fear, summarized above, that simply you're going to be scared of retribution and punishment. We'll understand the statement of what the Talmud says. And now, Israel, what does Hashem require of you? Only that you fear Hashem. So you have to fear Hashem. So the Gemara asks, is fear then such a small thing? All you have to do is fear Hashem. No big deal, right? Gemara answers yes. In the case of Moshe, it is a small thing, and so forth. So superficially, remember we said that we have the love of Hashem. That's an inheritance from our forefathers. So if it's them and where they got it from or what they did and the way they conducted themselves, yeah, it's simple. They are chariots every waking hour, every moment of their lives. They are subservient to Hashem, completely bottled to His will and wisdom, to His will. What about us? How do we do that? Simple thing. Superficially, the answer seems to be that this was said by Moshe to the Jewish people. And for him, fearing Hashem is indeed something simple. So how does it become simple for us? At first glance, the answer to the Gemara, that's not for us. What does He require of you? Meaning, what does Hashem require of every Jew? Okay, so let's say the majority of Jews, fear of Hashem, is certainly no mean accomplishment. What then is the point of answering that Moshe? For Moshe, it's a simple thing. Explanation, however, is as follows. Each and every person has a neshama, and every soul of the Jewish people comprises within it something of the quality of our teacher Moshe Rabbeinu, alav shalom, inside of themselves. For he is one of the 7 shepherds. These shepherds, one of these 7 shepherds, these shepherds who cause godliness to flow into each and every neshama, and for which reason they're called shepherds. They don't physically hurt us around. So what do? They shepherd godliness into us. They're shepherds of godliness, of godly light into each Jew. So just as a shepherd, what's really the purpose of a shepherd? Not just to boss them around, but is to provide for them, to make sure that the wolves don't eat them, and to make sure they have food and water, and to care for them. So just as a shepherd provides nourishment for his sheep, thereby supplying them with vitality, so do the 7 shepherds sustain the Jewish souls with godliness, each from his own spiritual level. Hashem. So our teacher, Moshe Rabbeinu, we don't say Moshe, the teacher of that generation, that brought the Torah to the Jewish people from Hashem, that took the Jewish people, helped the Jewish people get out of Egypt, and brought the 10 plagues through Hashem to Parai. We say Moshe Rabbeinu, our teacher. And Moshe, comprises aspects of all the different faithful shepherds that we've had throughout the generations. This means that he draws down the quality of Das to the community of Israel, that they may know and be cognizant of Hashem, so that for them, godliness will be self-evident and experienced by every single Jew. Yes, we have a neshama. Yes, we know that we have this latent love for Hashem and we fear Hashem, but sometimes we get a little fashlofen, right? We lose track of our priorities. So Moshe Rabbeinu is here to wake that up, to ignite that spark. Each according to his intellectual capacity and the capacity of the neshama, that according to the height of the source of the soul as it exists above. According to the degree of its nurture from the root of the soul of Moshe Rabbeinu. So we each get revelation of godliness, or the light of Hashem that comes into us on different levels through the Moshe Rabbeinu, Shureshes B'das Elyon, Shabiyud Sfiris Tatzilus, Amiyuchodois, Matzilon Baruch Hu. Where does this come from? Where does the light of Hashem come from? It's rooted in the Das Elyon, in the supernal knowledge of the 10 Sfiris of Atzilus, which are united with their emanator, Kadosh Baruch Hu. So just as Hashem is termed the creator of created beings, so too, he, Hashem, called the emanator of those entities found in the world of Atzilus, a world which together with its blessings is an emanation of the Ein Sof. So the light of Hashem is eternal, and then that light has to be, I don't know if to harvested is the right word, but utilized and brought down, redirected, or directed to the Neshamas Yisrael and every living thing in order to give it energy and vitality, in order for it to live and exist. Because he and his knowledge are one, he is the knowledge. It's actually quite long today, so try to move it forward. Yes, al kain b'chol dar v'dar yordim nitzotzin min nishmas Moshe Rabbeinu alav shalom u'mislabshim b'guf v'nefesh shel chachmei hador einei ha'eda. In addition and beyond this influence to the community as a whole, there descends in every generation a spark from the soul of Moshe Rabbeinu, and they enclose themselves in the body and soul of the sages of that generation. We call it Einei Ha'eda, the eyes of the congregation. These sparks, which are clothed in sages and spiritual leaders, what does it do? It enables them to impart knowledge to the people, that they may know the greatness of Hashem and hence serve him with heart and soul. That's now we were learning Shulchan Aruch. We were learning the laws of Kohen, Levi, Yisrael. Charlie, you might want to listen to this, and Michael. You have to give a Kohen the first Aliyah, and then you have to give a Levi the next Aliyah. And then who gets the third Aliyah? A Talmud Chacham. How do you qualify or quantify or, appoint a Talmud Chacham? That's if he is able to answer all the shilas that are asked of him. So here we see Lamed Das Sa'am, someone who is able to, this we're not talking about, we're talking about two completely different levels here. However, here we have the continuation of the Moshe Rabbeinu that's able to impart knowledge to the people, that they may know the greatness of Hashem and serve him with a whole heart. So everyone needs a Rav, everyone needs a Mashpia. And by the way, you could be that person too. You just have to learn a lot, and you have to be able to give it over to everybody around you. So instead of looking around for, who's going to give it over to us, it might be you, and it should be you. The service of the heart, for the service of the heart, meaning one's love and fear of Hashem, is according to his das, according to his degree of knowledge and understanding of God's greatness. As the pasuk says, know the God of your father and serve him with all your heart and with all your longing soul. So if you're going to serve him based on your knowledge, so if you only know a little bit, that's how much you're going to be able to serve him. So you keep on learning Torah and trying to strive to understand as much as you possibly can of the greatness of Hashem, so that you can receive more and be able to give more. Lasidu oimer v'lo yalamdu ish esreu leimar du es Hashem ki kulam yedu oisig v'gaimer. Only concerning the future. When Mashiach comes, is it written, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know me, no, I'm sorry, know Hashem, for they shall all know me. By then, we won't necessarily have to teach each other because everybody will recognize and realize the greatness of Hashem and feel and sense the revelation of godliness right before our eyes. So when is a teacher necessary? Now, when God is hidden and godliness is not yet revealed. In our area, one needs to have a mentor to impart knowledge of Hashem's greatness if one is to know how to serve him with his heart and soul. And one's dependence on Moshe through the intermediary scholars of each generation, the sparks of Moshe. Did I skip a page? No. We're good, right? Okay, good. Through the intermediary scholars of each generation, the sparks of Moshe is of the very essence of one's divine service. However, the essence of knowledge which leads one to serve Hashem with his whole soul and heart is not mere knowing alone. That people could learn from authors and from books. We're not looking just for knowledge. 2 nights ago, we had beautiful Mashiach Suda. We can learn that stuff on our own. You can sit in the room and just, read a paper. But there's nothing like sitting around the table and being inspired. Rabbi Sikorsky told me afterwards, he said he didn't believe what kind of crowd it's going to be. He always starts Mashiach Suda at home, has a couple of cups with his kids, whatever, and then he comes. And he says it was so packed that he was thrown off to the point that he had trouble. Michael, you might remember this. He had trouble translating the words into English. He was using a lot of lofty words. Chaim has a few. Chaim, so after a few cups of wine, he usually loosens up a little. There's always Mashiach Suda, he loosens up, right? So I said, it's okay. Our neshamas understood. Sometimes we need that high level tashpa. We need that high level of spiritual thought and teaching and concepts, and it doesn't have to be watered down. Our neshamas understand, but we're not going to get anything from opening a book. We need somebody to say it. Mekusheres b'Hashem mekesher amnitz v'chozok meishi mekusheres b'davar gashmi v'sheroya v'einei v'asar b'amikboi machshavtei. The essential thing is to immerse one's mind deeply into those things which explain the greatness of Hashem and fix one's thoughts, even if you are opening up a sefer. It's not about the words necessarily. Yes, of course, the words are important, but you have to do that soulful meditation. You have to wake up your heart and your soul and your thoughts, connect them with Hashem, not just with obviously starting with the knowledge, but it has to affect your entire body. It has to affect you in a deep and very meaningful and powerful way until you see with your physical eyes that which you concentrate on in your thoughts. The old saying, what's worse than not being able to see, Jack, is not having vision. So you might see the words, but you have to have a vision of what they're trying to do and how they're trying to shape you. And again, when we do a mitzvah, it's not just about us. We're trying to change all the souls of Israel, as we learned. Before we do a mitzvah, we think about elevating all the neshamas along with us. So it's not just about us. It's how can I connect my neshama, my family, and the entire Jewish community to Hashem to lift us up and help the world become a better place to bring Mashiach. So when one does so, he's mightily bound up with the object of his thoughts. And he's able to, so he's learning in order to gain knowledge, but then he wants to free himself from those thoughts. Sort of adjust spiritually, reach a higher level spiritually, and bond with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. For it is known that das, chachma bina das, we want to gain the knowledge, but das really means union, becoming one, as in the pasuk, Adam Yada. Adam literally knew Chava, became one with her. The word Yada in this pasuk means union. Thus, das entails knowing something to the point that one's completely united with it. So yes, we're doing it through knowledge, but then we're becoming one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Although when one just knows godliness, he's already fulfilling a mitzvah, still that's not the final goal. It's necessary that one achieve the union of Das by meditating deeply on the greatness of Hashem. So the takeaway for today, Chaver, we're going to continue chapter 40. This is a very deep and powerful message that not only is there a Moshe Rabbeinu in every generation, you, each and every one of us, have a Moshe within us. This is the part of our neshama that allows you and motivates you and us to not only comprehend, but deeply connect to Hashem in a very real and not merely a superficial, fleeting way. All right, Chaver, now go practice that. Good luck.